Pegassi here, welcome back to another GTA 5 car v car episode. Today we've got the long-awaited Pegassi Osiris versus the T20, the two supercars that we got for this car class that came out of nowhere with no warning. And it's one of those things, man. What's the main differences between these two? That's what we're going to find out in today's episode. Both of these are actually very expensive, but the T20 is slightly more expensive than the Osiris. So yeah, let's find out. In terms of handling, Osiris got better traction over the T20, certainly more efficient, because the braking points are very easy to pick up, and lap after lap, you can pretty much get the same cornering as you want it to because of its predictability and its heavy understeer, and it sticks onto the ground firmly, and it's pretty awesome in that sense. But with this restrictive driving style, it completely depends on your driving style, what you prefer, an understeering car or a loose car with a loose end like the T20. Not as loose as the Zentorno, however, it's still quite grippy at certain points. But then again, all of a sudden you can completely lose it as well. Turning circles there over the Osiris. It's got a quicker response time as well around cornering, but not as predictable because of the spoiler mechanism. Because when the spoiler kicks in, you completely lose traction, and that is something you can't control, and that's a variable which makes it unpredictable. Now, acceleration-wise, T20 does take it against the Osiris. That was something I wasn't expecting when the car came out. But then, also when it comes to the top speed, the thing about these two is they're pretty much the same. So the main difference is the acceleration. Now, here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. With the T20, right, because it's quite unpredictable through corners due to its spoiler mechanism and the way the car loosens up and sometimes oversteers if you try to throw it in. If you can master the cornering and the way the braking works with the T20, you're going to, of course, do better off with this car. But it's slightly more difficult to get used to. And you can see how much power this car also produces over the Osiris. But if you want to take the safer option, definitely go with the Osiris. Very predictable, and it's extremely grippy into the ground. So pretty much your corners are going to be so smooth. You can loosen up the rear if you wanted to by throttle controlling, obviously, depending on the corner, how tight or how long it is. If it's a sweeper, you know, there's all technicalities behind that. Here's a little durability test. We're doing equal distance covered by the ambulance. Turns out that the T20 spoiler gets completely damaged. That means it doesn't work. That's not good for cornering. Osiris was quite scratchy, but the general base was there. Overall, the T20 will be in a disadvantage over the Osiris. General damage, customization. Osiris got 16 options in total, excluding the stock options there. Excluding, I repeat. So that's 16 there. I believe I made a mistake in a previous episode. I did a comparison of Osiris, and I think it's Zentorno. I think I put 17. But yeah, T20 doesn't really have that many compared to the Osiris. But that's kind of something you kind of can see anyway if you do have both of these cars. So 11 there. Now, when it comes to the best lap time, this is actually very, very interesting. Now, a lot of the times it depends on the track as well. And it depends on how long or how, I don't know, it just all depends on you, you know, your preference. At the end of the day, you can get the same outcome from both of these cars in terms of laps, but you will be better off with the T20, but it's difficult to get the better off time, you know what I'm saying? The Osiris is a safe route, it's very efficient, and you can get the limits with the car, and it's easier to get the limits over the T20 because it's extremely stable and very smooth with the racing lines, whereas the T20, in order to get that result that the Osiris gets, you have to really push it and really pay attention to the small details of the car, especially through the cornering, in order to get the power down and to get that acceleration that it has over the Osiris or kicking in. And that's something I really like about the balance of the supercar class between these two. And here's the thing though, and the Zentorno does come between these two cars as well, because Zentorno is also very good with that spoiler that I was talking about, a secondary colored spoiler, when it comes to speed carry and just the response time over these two cars. So balance of these three cars is awesome. And at the end of the day, Osiris is a safe route, in my opinion. The T20, another car which, you know, if you can control over bumps and whatnot, then you're also in lockdown with that car of any other car in the game. But T20 overall is quicker. But then again, both these cars have similar ratings in comparison with each other, with all factors put together. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. My personal preference depends on the track, and I don't mind using any three of the cars. I've got records with 3 of these cars together and different depending on the tracks, obviously. But yeah, Osiris sometimes works better for me. For example, Panic Stations, where I can't do shit all with a T20. I find it really difficult. And with tracks like Cheetah Grand Prix, I decided to go with a T20 just because of its response time and the speed carry and the way its car's brakes works and how you generate the power through the sweepers. So yeah, it's up to you. Let me know, man. Let me know. Interesting cars indeed. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys find it useful. I'll see you guys soon. Shut up, not peace. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the Car series for my channel. Today we've got the Pegassi Osiris.